Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, it's time for another music challenge. This is where I challenge myself to listen to music, consume music, think about music in a different way. And it's a challenge that I put out there for anyone who would like to join in. This challenge was inspired by a video that I made a little while back called Bands I Should Like But Don't. And in that video I talked about bands that I respected, that I knew, had listened to a certain degree, but they just never clicked for me. And in that video, a subscriber or someone left a comment. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. I couldn't find the exact comment. I think it was in this video where they said, you have to listen to an album at least 30 times before you can pass judgment on the record, before you can decide if you like it or not, or before you can really appreciate an album. And I thought that was really interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the bands from that video, Genesis, and I am going to listen to their album, Selling England by the Pound. Now, 30 times is a bit much for me, so I'm going to say 15. Let's split it in half. I'm going to listen to this album 15 times. And I'm going to do it, I'm not going to put any time frame on it, but I'm going to try to listen to it at least once every day. If I can get it in more than once, that's great. I'm not going to put any restrictions on it, like it has to be undivided attention. For instance, I listened to it once driving around today in my car. I've listened to about half of it now on vinyl as I was getting set up here for this video. So whenever I can, I'm going to try to listen to this. I'm going to try to listen to it 15 times. Genesis is a band that, not that I don't like them, and I have all the Peter Gabriel era albums by the band. It just never clicked for me. And this particular album, I know that when you look up polls of the greatest Genesis albums, this is always right up there in the top 3, at least. And I have a lot of friends and a lot of subscribers that really like the Peter Gabriel era of Genesis. And I knew a guy that just, couldn't stop talking about this particular album. And I've listened to it. I mean, I have it on vinyl. I've probably listened to it maybe once or twice. But I've never really given it any consecutive, consistent listens. So I thought this would be interesting. It's going to hopefully get me to dig into the album a little bit more, to appreciate the album more. And when that subscriber made the comment, it reminded me of when I was younger and I had a limited supply of music. I used to I had some records, I had cassettes, but it was pretty small compared to what I have now, or the infinite amount of stuff that we can listen to on YouTube and Spotify and streaming and stuff. And back then, if I got something, like if I got stuff, I used to get stuff through record clubs. So when I would get these 12 cassette tapes, there would always be a couple things in there I wasn't sure about, I was taking a chance on. And even if it was something that I didn't like right away, because I had such a limited supply of stuff, I would give it multiple listens, many listens, before I would write something off and give it away or try to trade it with a friend or something. Because, again, I had so few things and I invested more time in it. And nowadays, because I have so much stuff, because of streaming and just the access to so much music that I have on CD and vinyl, that if I don't like something, like kind of quickly, I just move on from it. And I don't really give it a whole lot of time. And I think when you do invest some time in something, often you can get some rewards out of it. Sometimes the albums that didn't click for me right away, that took multiple listens, can become albums that I really enjoy and have memories of. For instance, I remember Iron Maiden's A Matter of Life and Death. When it first came out, I was really indifferent towards it. I was just kind of like, it didn't really click for me. There were some things I liked, some things I didn't. And right around the time that I got it, I had gotten the flu. And so I was laying on the sofa, for multiple days. And I just put that CD in and just kept playing that CD. And then it clicked with me. And now it's like I have this relationship with that album. And a lot of times I think back to when I was sick there and listening to that and just really diving into it, putting the headphones on, giving it multiple listens. And it reminded me of when I was a kid, when I had so few stuff. I would listen to a cassette over and over again, even if it was something that I was kind of like, I'm not sure if I like this. I would listen to it a bunch of times and just try to like it, try to find something to like about it. So I think it's going to be interesting for me to do this here with Genesis, a band that it's not that I don't like Genesis, and that's the thing about this challenge. It's not taking a band that I just hate. You know, I'm not going to take some new metal band or some metalcore band or some, I don't know, you know, punk band that I know I'm just not going to like because I don't like those styles of music. Again, Genesis was one of my bands that I should like, but for some reason I don't. So I thought, all right, let me take what many people consider to be their best album and let me give this multiple listens. In this case, 15 listens. And let's see how I feel about this record after giving it a solid 15 listens. All right, so there's the challenge. I'm not putting a time frame on it. The rules I'm setting for myself is just try to at least listen to it once a day. Any environment, however I can consume it, if I'm in my car, if I'm listening to it in my room here on vinyl, whatever. And again, it's not, so if you're going to accept this challenge, think of it this way. Think of it of a band that you respect, a band that you think that you should like, that maybe you haven't listened to a lot, that you're familiar with, but you haven't listened to them a lot. Maybe pick one of their best albums, top albums or whatever, and challenge yourself to listen to it 15 times, or you could pick an arbitrary number, maybe 10 or 12. I went with 15. I cut in half the person that said 30 times. I said, all right, that's a bit too much. I'm going to do 15. So whatever you want to do, give multiple listens to an album from a band that you should like, but for whatever reason don't or have never made the time for, okay? All right, there's the challenge. I'll see you guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you're going to take up the mantle on this one. This is a tough one. This one is requiring a lot of time on everyone's part. This album is 53 minutes long, I think. So that's basically 15 times is, 14 hours, 14 and a half hours of my life I'm going to give to this record. So this is a serious challenge out there. It's not for the faint of heart, all right? But if you're up for it, let me know in the comments what band, what album that you're going to take this challenge up on. And we'll see you here in, I don't know, probably 10 days, 2 weeks or so. We'll see where we are when I get through to 15 listens of this, and I'll let you know my comments and my specific comments about the album and maybe just my overall thoughts about this whole process, okay? All right, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you check out Lair of the Alchemist, the Spotify podcast. And until we see you again, make sure you rock hard, ride free.